All right, shalom, my Hebrews and Shebrews. Welcome to the channel. This is Oilfield Disciple. It has been a couple weeks since I made a video. We actually didn't record our services this last weekend. A couple reasons. It was just my assembly. Anyway, I haven't made a few videos for a while. It's been a couple weeks. I understand. I've been busy and I'm tired. As you can see in the video here, I'm tired, and I've got a lot going on. Juggling a ministry which is dear to me, my family which is dear to me, my job that I have to do for a corporation, dear to me. All these things. I have my own business that I'm operating, and it's we bought that motel. We knew there was going to be a lot of work involved in it, and so there's just the behind the scenes things of, keeping the grass mowed. We've gotten like 6 inches of rain here in the last month, and that's more than we've gotten the whole since 2013 put together. Was the last time we had a monsoon like this, and so keeping the grass cut, and plumbing issues and electrical issues, and you name it, and so I have been lacking on the videos. I apologize for that. Please forgive me. Thank you for those who diligently follow this channel as I make new videos. In this video here, we're going to get out of my lane a little bit. We're going to talk about a few things, but we're going to look at it from a scriptural point of view. And I guess we can change it. All right. And so we're going to look at John chapter 19 here real quick. If I can put this right here, and hopefully that doesn't skew what's going on. Let's look at John chapter 19 here. Jesus has been arrested and he's taken to Pilate. And Pilate's trying to figure out what he wants to do with him. And let's see what Yeshua says here. Let's start in verse 5. It says, Then Yeshua came outside, wearing the crown of thorns and a purple robe, and Pilate said to them, See the man. And so when the chief priests and the officers saw him, they shouted, saying, Impale! Impale! And Pilate said to them, You take him, you impale him, for I find no guilt in this man. And the Yehudim answered him, We have a law, and according to our law, he ought to die, for he has made himself the son of Elohim. All right, so they want him dead and crucified. Now, according to their law, they're to stone him if anyone blasphemes. And this is what they want him impaled for, because he has claimed to be Yahweh. And so they're all bent out of shape about it, because they did not discern the times that they were living in, and the Messiah that was standing before them. So Pilate here says, verse 8, heard the word, and he was more afraid. He was afraid because he didn't want this rebellion and this uproar coming up, but he also seen, because Pilate's a wise man, and I've done many teachings on this. Pilate, being a wise man, does not want to have a rebellion on his hands, but he also sees that Yeshua there's no reason to kill this man, none whatsoever, according to Roman law. And so he went back in the palace, verse 9, and asked Yeshua, Where are you from? But Yeshua gave him no answer. And then Pilate said to him, Do you not speak to me? Do you not know that I possess authority to impale you, and I possess authority to release you? And Yeshua answered, You would possess no authority if it were not given you from above. Because of this, he who delivered me to you has a greater sin. From then on, Pilate sought to release him, but the Yehudim, the Jews, shouted, saying, If you release this one, you are no Caesar's friend. Everyone who makes himself a king does not speak against Caesar, does speak against Caesar. All right, so now the Jews are hitting him. He's like, he's made himself Yahweh, and he's made himself king over Caesar. You got to kill him. You got no choice, brother. And so as we look at this, let's go to Romans 13, because I get hit with this one a lot too. Romans 13. I'm going to bring all this together, so stay with me. I've got a lot in my mind here. I'm trying to get out here in a short 20-minute video. Romans 13, verse 1 through 5 is where everyone goes to when you rebel against authority as a Christian. Okay? And I say that term like that mockingly because go look at my videos, you'll see one. If you're a Christian, you have to do what the governor says. Romans 13. Let's go look at Romans 13. Now let's look at Jesus. He justified Caesar. He didn't openly defy him and rebel against him, but he refused to answer him, which is the same as rebellion. Paul gets thrown out of the temple over and over again. Gets thrown out of the city over and over again for rebellion. If Paul is telling you that you have to listen to the rulers as supreme and do whatever they say, if they say you go and murder babies, you have to go do that because they said do it, Paul in himself is a hypocrite because he doesn't do what the authorities tell him to do. Let's watch. Let every being, verse 1, Romans 13, verse 1, let every being be in subjection to the governing authorities. Right, the governing authorities are the supreme powers, the higher power, the priests, the shepherds, those who are of Torah. Okay? For there is no authority except from Elohim. And the authorities that exist are appointed by Elohim. They're in agreement with God. Okay? That word is archon, G758. Go look it up. It is rulers and princes and kings and governors, but they are in accordance to what God has given them authority to do. Okay? Now, that may be against you, may be for you. Doesn't matter. Are you lining up with the word of Yahweh? The reason I'm making this video is because there's a very prevalent thing going on right now that they're wanting to force vaccinate us. All right? First it was the mask, and I told y'all from the beginning, you can go back and look at my video from a year ago, and I openly spoke on this right here. Don't wear the mask. It, for one, does you no good, and two, they're just conditioning you to take something worse. This so-called vaccine is terrible. I've researched it. I've looked at it 9 ways to Sunday. You get this vaccine and you're jacked. All right, it's going to jack with your DNA and it's going to mess you up. I don't know how bad, to what extent right now. I'm just telling you, run from that stuff. Run from it. Now they're wanting to go door to door. All right, Jen Psaki, she come out in a press release here a week or so ago and said that the Biden administration advises that the governing authorities go door to door and urge you to take the vaccine if you have not taken this vaccine. They are talking about making it where companies can't get insurance unless they have their employees vaccinated, so therefore pushing that, kicking that can down the road onto corporations. You can't work if you don't get this vaccine. Does that sound familiar to Revelation chapter 13? That you will not buy nor sell, you will not be able to operate in society without the mark. Now, I ain't saying this vaccine's a mark. Don't you dare hear me wrong and quote me on that. I'm saying this vaccine is leading to something more. They're conditioning you, just like the mask, just like the mandates that went through all this health bullshit. Every bit of it was jacked. Go look at my videos from the beginning of COVID a year ago, and you will see I've been saying the same thing, and it's coming out just like I've been saying. I'm not a prophet, but I can look at cycles, and I can read Yahweh's word, and I can interpret it and make it fit, or make my life fit into the scripture, just by discerning the scriptures. Now, where in here does it tell me that I'm supposed to do what Hitler tells me? Where in that did it tell me? See, because verse 2 says, he who supposes the authority withstands the institution of Elohim, and those who withstand shall bring judgment on themselves. Okay? All right? Bringing judgment on themselves. What are you withstanding? You're withstanding the word of Yahweh. The word of Yahweh has already given you commands of what to do and what not to do. So I'm saying you got to keep the Sabbath. You got to quit eating your pork and your lobster and your bacon and all that bull. Do what God says. I don't care what the Roman Catholic Church deemed right and the year 300 AD, supposedly that year. All right? I don't care what the Roman Catholic Church says. I care what God says. Jesus says you're not supposed to call anyone Father but him who is above, right? Are you feeling me now? Listen to this. He who opposes the authority withstands the institution of Elohim. What authority? You're opposing the authority of God. God has told you what is right, what is wrong, what's morally right, what's morally wrong. He set a standard, and he expects you to follow it. Anytime you break that authority, anytime you break that moral right or wrong, that's called sin. Sin's defined in 1 John 3:4. Sin is transgression of Yahweh's law. Sin is doing something that Yahweh said don't do. Sin is not doing what Yahweh said to do. He said, don't eat this. He said, keep this day. He said, love me with all your heart, mind, and soul. Don't lust after your neighbor's wife, his truck, his car, his mule, his donkey. Don't lust after those things. Be content with what Yahweh's given you. Right now. So what I've been telling y'all is that they're going to go door to door and they're going to urge you to get this vaccine. Now, it's not happening right now, but look at what they're talking about in the news. I just watched a report on Fox News that the governor of Alabama, I can't remember his name, but you can go look it up. Governor of Alabama says if you start force vaccinating these American citizens, you're going to have a revolt and a rebellion on your hands. Same thing that Caesar was dealing with when they was fixing to crucify Yeshua. Right? Now, do you want a revolt on your hands? United States senators? No, you don't. Do you want one on your hands, Governor? No, you don't. All right? Now, we the people, to create a more perfect union, right? 14th Amendment, that all men have the right to liberty and the pursuit of happiness. Right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Among these things are those. All right? We'll look at Daniel. Daniel chapter 5 and 6. When the king is tricked into making that decree that no one can pray to Yahweh, Daniel defied the king because he opened his windows and he prayed in front of king and everybody, in front of Yahweh. He prayed to his master and Lord, Yeshua, Yahweh. He didn't do it to be rebellious. He done it because that's what he's always done. Now, you take us who are following what Yahweh tells us to do under all opposition. We're keeping the commands to the best of our broken ability, right? We all jack up, we all mess up, but this, you're always a sinner. It don't fly with me, right? Because I walk according to what Yahweh says. And when I fail, I've sinned, and I must repent. Right? I've always kept these laws and commands. Not always. From the time I began to understand that that's what Yahweh wants, that's what Yahweh requires, and this is his standard that I must follow. As you have come to understand that Yahweh has a standard. We don't kill, we don't we don't murder, we don't steal, all these commands. Yeah, there's 613 Levitical laws, but Jesus didn't keep them all. He couldn't, because there's Levitical law just for women. There's a Levitical law that he couldn't have kept because of who he is. He's a man, right? Now, check that out. We're skewing that. You can be female or male, whatever you feel like waking up to today, right? They're wanting to mandate these vaccines, and it's coming. I've been telling y'all think it's a game. Some of y'all are serious with me, but some of y'all that'll stumble on this channel, it ain't gonna happen. I told you with the mask. I told you with the health mandates. Well, look at all my videos, and I haven't been off very far. Yahweh has given me discernment through His Word to see what's happening. I'm no prophet. Don't hear me as that. But I'm telling you what, you better hear me as authority that understands Yahweh's Word. That if we keep reading here, verse 4, or verse 3, for those ruling are an object of fear, not to good works, but to do evil. Those who are ruling. Do you wish to not be afraid of that authority? Do the good, and you shall have praise from it. I rejected the mask. I reject this vaccine. I reject these health mandates you're shoving down our throats to change who we are. For it is a servant of Elohim to you for good. But if you do evil, be afraid, be very afraid. For it does not bear the sword. For it does not bear the sword in vain. For it is a servant of Elohim, a revenger to execute wrath on him who practices evil. Judgment day is coming, y'all. Ready or not, here it comes. If you don't believe in the truck, go play in the road. You're fixing to learn that the truck is real. It's going to run your ass over. You don't believe in God, you don't believe in Judgment Day, fine. Whatever. It's fixing to come and run your ass over. Pastor Man's cousin. Go do some word studies. I don't even want to hear that, all right? Verse 5. Therefore it is necessary to be subject, not only because of wrath, Yahweh, but also because of your conscience. For because of this, you pay taxes. For they are servants of Elohim, attending continually to these duties. Right? I walk in the ways of Yahweh. First and foremost. Yep. Yeah, the one I got in the back, and then my spare will go back underneath. You want me to pull in this first back?
Yeah, so we can lift it up.
Cool. Sounds good to me. Let's get some reports down here.
Yeah, I'm just trying to
Jump. You'll make it, brother.
Yeah, because I got to go cut my yard. Ever since it started raining.
Right. Yeah, I'm in the same boat, brother. Same boat. All this rain, it's tough. Sounds good, my brother. I'm gonna finish this up here. And so, I'm sitting here waiting to get my new tires put on. My new truck. It's got almost 17,000 miles on it, and time for to get rid of them factory tires. I'm tired of having flats every day. But do y'all feel me? Do you hear what I'm saying? What are you gonna do when they go? Hello, Mr. Smith. We noticed here on this paperwork that you don't have your vaccine. We'd like to help you out with that. You don't even have to go nowhere. We got it right here. No, I don't want it. Well, you don't understand. See, because if you don't get it, you might get your grandma sick. And if you don't get it, you may not be able to go down to the grocery store no more. So we're here now. And we're going to go ahead. We want to do. No. Matter of fact, get off my property real quick, sir. Now, ma'am. Ammo is not cheap, and the warning shot's not coming. Get off my property. If you don't operate that way, they're going to trick you into doing it. Just like Satan tricked Eve into eating the fruit. Eating apple, almost said eating apple. Come on, see, that's bullshit Christianity. Did Yahweh say? Right. We just read Romans 13. You go do you an in-depth word study on that. Prove me wrong on that. I'll repent right here. I'll go print in the streets. I've studied this out. God says to follow me, not follow man. Now, we have a document here in the United States as citizens that guarantees us certain liberties, rights, and freedoms. As long as you don't step on someone else's toes. Right? Well, they're not going to step on my toes. And I have the right to keep and bear arms. I get in trouble in this video, but I got the right to keep and bear arms. I don't fight when it comes to the safety of my flock, the safety of my home. And men, you better stand up, because if not, they're going to have your kids vaccinated, they're going to have you vaccinated, and then the next step's coming. I don't know what the next step is, but I got a pretty good idea, but I'm not going to just spit it out there now, because there's no reason to make false accusations that I don't necessarily know. It's like a frog in boiling water. You put him in cold water and turn the heat on underneath him, he'll just sit there and he'll boil out and boil to death. Throw him in that hot water, he's going to jump and run, just like right now. The government takes and tries to take our weapons away. They tried to come in there and shove that vaccine down our throats on our property. They know they're going to have a revolt on their hands. So they're going to play it slick and sly. And over a period of time, 6 months to a year, they're going to have 3/4 of American citizens vaccinated because you were too afraid to say no. You better say no, and I mean that with all I can muster up. Y'all be blessed, be encouraged, and always be frustrated. This is